بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصل اللهم وبارك على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه وذريته ومن والاه. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وارزقنا علما وزدنا علما آمين يا رب العالمين. ما زلنا في الفصل أو في الباب مبتلات الصلاة. قال وأبطل الصلاة. They nullify the salah. Who are they? The fuqaha. They regard the salah of this person as being nullified. Man qad qahqaha. Whoever makes qahqaha in salah. Al-qahqaha, like we said before, is that kind of noise, a kind of laughter that is loud, that produces a sound. Al-qahqaha takhtalifu min al-ibtisam. Al-ibtisam is for someone to smile. Maybe on salah you saw something or you remember something and you just smile this way without making a sound. It is makruhu, but it is not what? It does not break a salah. But whatever makes you to laugh and we can hear your voice on salah, qad batalati salah. The salah is rendered invalid. And we put the conditions, if you remember, we have the conditions in this way. What is it that we said? In kana amdan, if it is deliberate. Aw sahiyan, aw sahwan, or the person actually forgot. You forgot so much so that and you are laughing in salah. It means you are not conscious of that salah. Aw jahilan, or even if you are ignorant, you don't know the rules. And this is what we say. Someone say, but Ustaz, I didn't know. So why didn't you learn the rules of your salah? I didn't know that laughing on salah breaks the salah. You broke your salah. So you repeat that salah. Aw aliman. Subhanallah, I think this is aliman. Jahilan aw aliman. I wrote amilan. If you check your screen. Let's see, I think this should be. Let's correct that. This is supposed to be aliman. Aw aliman. If he knows, he did it intentionally. Imaman kana aw ma'muma. Whether he's the imam or is the ma'mum, is someone following the imam. Aw fadhan, or even if he's praying alone. You see that whatever condition, it breaks your salah. Aw muhdithan, someone who is in a state of hadath. If you forgot what to call hadath, revise your babu tahara. If the imam was in a state of hadath, he is in a state of impurity, can be one reason, or in a state that will make his salah invalid due to impurity, then the imam salah becomes invalid. Immediately he remembers فَلَا يُبَاشِرُ رُكْنًا آخَرَ. It should not further in that salah. For example, if he remembers when he's saying وَلَا سَوْفَ يُعْتِيكَ, and he remembers, he should not say رَبُّكَ فَتَرْضَى. He should just stop instantly there. It should freeze. When he freezes, what does he do? He turns back, makes ishara for another person to lead, and he leaves the salah. If he proceeds and goes to the next rukn will be to go to the next posture. For example, you are in Qiyam, he remembers after reading the surah and he proceeds to ruku like that, he has successfully nullified the salah of everybody. What we're trying to say here is that the salah, if the imam enters the salah in a state of hadath, if he does not in lam yubashir ruknan akhar, if he does not proceed to the next step, the salah of the people following the ma'mum, the followers of the imam, is valid. The only time that their salat altogether will not be valid is when the imam does that intentionally. يعني دخل الصلاة محدثا عمدا. He entered the salah in a state of impurity, in knowing fully, intentionally. Then, do you think it's not possible? You think it's not possible? There's a question we used to ask when we were small. What was it that there was never a time that in Salatul Jummah that Imam said, I want to go and make my wudu again? Is it all the time that the Imam of Jummah will have wudu? Growing up, we never saw it. And we asked the Imam one day, and he said, well, some of them as Imams, from Wednesday, before Salatul Jummah, they watch everything they eat. Look at that, subhanallah. It's discipline. So when people think imamship is just you coming to Salah and jumping on Salah and reading, the imam, because he has to make the khutbah, maybe and usually, the khutbah there are not like the conventional khutbah, they are longer. The conventional khutbah should not take you more than, they are about 20-25 minutes. If you are making khutbah of 1 hour, 1.5 hours, that's not khutbah. تُتْعِبُ النَّاسِ بس. You are just suffering the people. What are we saying? So the imam watches what he eats so that he's able to make the khutbah, and without breaking his wudu, is making the salah too. Alhamdulillah, when we grew up, later we saw that some imams, inshallah, if they break their wudu, after the khutbah, they will say the jama'ah should pause and they will make wudu and start the salah. In the madhab of Imam Malik, we'll get there. The person who gives the khutbah should be the person to lead the salah. In Salatul Jummah, there's the shurutul Salatul Jummah, shurutul masjid, shurutul imam. So the imam is encouraged to what? Have like a kettle of water beside him, maybe in the room, by the minbar or something like that, just by the side, so that he doesn't have to go. If it's a big mosque, for example, he doesn't have to go to the wudu area. He can have like a basin there and a kettle or bowl where he can just perform the wudu on the side, so that it doesn't take the time of the congregation. Tamam. What are the conditions that will necessitate or that will make this to really happen? The imam forgot that he forgot to make wudu when his wudu broke, or he had the intention of making the wudu and he forgot that he didn't make it before he entered the salah, and he remembered on the salah, or the hadath overtook him. This is important. I'm feeling like I want to pass wind. Don't wait. If you know that this is almost coming out, just excuse the salah. You get, like, and you're not allowed to be trying to conceal it in your body. I don't know if that's the right word to use. You're trying to force so that it doesn't come out. No, that's not. If you allow it, but do that outside the salah if you're the imam. And that's why it says, wa in bisabqin. In bisabqin, it's either that hadas overtook him. For example, some of you may not have experienced this before, but it happens. There was a loud noise, or there's something that is terrifying, and money drops from a man in that situation. Yeah, in the state of fear. It happens a lot to people. And he's on salah. He just noticed something had a discharge. Definitely, whichever discharge you're having on the salah, the imam does not even need to, like, mashallah, I'm wearing a big jubba. He doesn't even need to inspect it. If there's a discharge from your genitals, just leave the salah. You don't plan for that. That's why it says, in bisabqin. If that occurrence overtakes him, or saha, or he forgets. Wal akli, eating in salah, I think we did that extensively. Even if it's small eating, even if it's chewing gum, even if it's keeping something in your cheek and, completing the eating in the salah. If something is stuck within your teeth, a small thing, and maybe while you're doing the salah, it drops in your mouth, that dropping is not the sin. You can just remove it. But now chewing in salah, eating it, is not appropriate. And by extension, it says washurbi, or drinking in salah. Someone is saying, did you carry a water bottle into the salah? I don't know. But we are saying if it happens in whatever condition, no salah for you. And what we mean by drinking is taking water through your mouth. It's different from a case of someone who is sick and is getting IV fluid. That is not going through the mouth. That's not considered as drinking.
Okay.
And this is why sometimes when we say things, we need to explain, what do we mean? What do the ulama mean? Is it just water going or fluid going to your body? No. A shurb is different. And that's why we have shuruh of what we're saying. Wa nafkhin. And nafkhu, like we said, is blowing air. Blowing with your mouth or with your nose. The one that makes a sound. It's different from breathing. Nobody's saying stop your breathing in salah. Some people are breathing heavily. But if it's making sound like something like that in salah, your salah is broken. Qay'an, vomiting in salah, and we said all the condition. If you vomit in salah, it has different things. It's in this mushajjar that you have on the screen. And this is why we tell people, when you are talking of fiqh, you are asking us, give me evidence from Kitab and Sunnah. Give me evidence for this kind of table now. Tell me the ayah that says if you vomit on salah, your salat is broken. Give me the hadith. Sheikh Mukhtar, you see, this is what we're saying, right? Quran and Sunnah. What do you understand with Quran and Sunnah? Now give me hadith that says if it is intentional, that you've vomited intentionally, it breaks your salah. Tell me the hadith that says if you vomited and it's not intentional and you didn't swallow it and this and that, your salat is still valid. Where is the hadith? Where is the ayah of the Quran? those people who say that scholars, fiqh does not have a place. How do we know these things? It's التجرع على العلم واستخفاف بالعلماء وبالعلم برمته. It's belittling knowledge. Knowledge is not you just reading from, picking Sahih Bukhari and quoting stuff out of it. That is not knowledge. Knowledge is not just memorizing stuff. A computer can memorize and regurgitate. So you are saying ChatGPT or Google is a scholar. Scholarship is honored. It is a revered position in Islam. It's not like a joke. Don't abuse it. Now, if it is not intentional and the vomitus was just like a flash and you didn't swallow it back, your salat is still valid. If the vomitus was not intentional. What do you mean by not intentional? You didn't force it. You didn't incite it. There are people like that maybe they touch the end of their throat to force themselves to vomit something. That will be like your salat is invalid outrightly. So if the vomitus was just like a flash, it was not like it kept coming and coming and coming, it is, your salat is still with that. If it's and you didn't swallow it back, your salat is valid. If it's for a prolonged time, it kept coming and coming, then salat is invalid. That is if you don't force it. And the third one is if you don't force it, and what? And when it came, you mistakenly swallowed it back. And we said uncontrollably or forgetfully. And it was for a short period of time. And the vomitus that you swallowed back was still kind of fresh. It's not decomposed. What do we mean by it's not decomposed? It's not become like a smudge or something. You can see, if it's rice, for example, you can still see all the grains of rice. It's not colored. It's not mixed with the bile and other juices in the body. If that happens, your salat is still valid, but you make 2 sajda after salam. All this now, tell me the hadith where you will find it. Tell me the ayah of Quran. These are masail. This is fiqh. These rules are derived from a lot of putting a lot of knowledge, usul, principles together, generosity, like that, to derive rulings like this. Islam is not, the Islamic law is as complex or even more complex than other laws. You have to learn it and study it. Barakallahu fikum. It says, أو سجد القبلي من لم يرقع. Or, it says what? قيئا سلاما. If you say salam intentionally before the end of the salah, that salat is invalid. If, for example, now you are on the second rak'ah of your salah, after the tashahud, you mistakenly say assalamu alaikum, and you remember, wow, this is the second rak'ah, your salat is still valid. You will stand up, bring the 2 extra rak'ah. If it's a 4-unit prayer, you would then do ba'di. But if you broke the salah intentionally, then the salah is invalid. Kalaman amda. Kalaman amda. You're talking deliberately in salah. It doesn't have to be a long speech. Except the islahi salah that we explained before, to correct the imam to fix the salah. And even that, it has to be just exactly what you need. Don't tell the imam, yeah, imam, why did you do that? Every morning, that's the way you used to forget in salah. Anyway, the mistake that you did was qabli. You remember that time that you are supposed to go to ruku and or say Sami Allah liman hamida. You didn't do that one. You don't need to explain. Because that's too much of a kalam. والأكل والشرب ونفخ عمدا قيئا سلاما أو كلاما عمدا. He says أو سجد القبلية من لم يركع. This is very profound. من لم يركع. What does it mean by من لم يركع here? Does it mean like someone who refused to make ruku? Who can remind me what we mean by man lam yarka? Who can remind me? I want to see how much of attention you pay. Man lam yarka.
It's as long as it does not go to ruku.
Explain.
So it is saying that as long as the person does not go to ruku.
Where did you get that information? Are you sure you looked at your notes? Or you are not taking notes? What did your notes say? This is where I know those people who have not been taking notes.
The notice.
Do you have it written in your notes?
Yes, but I'm opening the note back. It's on my laptop.
Tamam. You should be, when you are in class, your notes should be in front of you. And all the break that we had should be a good opportunity for you to revise. Don't come to the next class without revising. Because it will pile up. And you won't ever, if you are not careful, you won't ever have time to go over it. As we are going, it keeps adding up. Please try to revise as much as you can.
So in the notes, it said Sajadal Qabliyu Malam Rakai, or like for someone that's Qabliya, for someone that does the sujood of Qabli when he has not
when he has not
done.
I'm not sure that's what you heard from me. You can go and check the recording. Man lam yarka' huna man lam yadrik rak'atan. You see how Arabic, how what you're saying is, he's saying someone who does not meet a complete rak'ah with the imam. That's what he means by man lam yarka'. If you don't meet the complete rak'ah, and this is why you have to make your notes. Go over the recordings later. Make your own notes. Don't just translate man lam yarka literally as whoever does not do ruku. Literally what it says is man lam, whoever does not yarka, make ruku. But what is it saying? Whoever does not meet a complete rak'ah with the imam. Imam is saying Salat al-Maghrib. You met the imam on the first sujood on the third rak'ah. أنت لم تركع. هنا لم تدرك ركعة كاملة. That's what is being said. If the imam on that salah commits qabli, misses something in salah that he needs to make sujood al-qabli upon, if you join the imam in making qabli, under the condition that you didn't meet a complete rak'ah, فَقَدْ بَطَلَتْ صَلَاتُكَ. Your salah is invalid. Understood? Many people make this mistake.
Yes, sir.
What did he say?
So, Ustaz, please.
Now,
I'm just trying to note it down. Can you please repeat it?
you didn't meet any complete raka. And bima tudrakul raka. How do you know that you have met a raka? You must have met the imam before he stood up completely from a raka. Or make it simple, you met the imam on at least the ruku. Before he rose up completely from the ruku, you met him there. On that position, you have met a raka. If you didn't meet at least that on the salah, you have met the jama'ah, but you didn't meet the raka. In that case, if the imam, before you came, it means that before you came or something, somehow, the imam if the imam committed qabli, which is usually missing. I don't want to go into that because there's a whole bab on that. It's either missing an omission in salah or an omission plus addition in salah. It will still end up in qabli and many other conditions. Like the Bible says, is something that you need to pay attention to. If he makes all of that, and you know that imam would need to make, after the sujood, the last two sujood, he does the tashahud, and for qabli he would make 2 rakat again, 2 sujood afans, 2 sajda again before saying the taslim. After the first tashahud, what should you do? You are not supposed to follow the imam to do the qabli because you didn't meet the rakah. Many people do not know. If you follow the imam in doing that qabli, and when he does the taslim, you now stood up to make up your own salah, that your salah is invalid. You have to repeat it. What should you do? You sit down there and wait for the imam to make his own qabli. Then you go and make up your 3 rakah because you didn't even meet any rakah, assuming it's Salatul Maghrib. Whatever the imam has committed does not apply to you because you didn't even meet any rakah aslan to start with. Understood now? We got a point?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
أو قدم البعدية. This is for the case of someone مدرك لركعة مع الإمام. He meets up to a rak'ah with the imam. But the imam makes ba'di. After the taslim, after the 2 sajda, the imam makes what? As for ba'di, he will say, Assalamu alaikum. Then he brought the 2 sujood of ba'di. The person who does not meet the salah completely, we are not saying he didn't meet the one rakana. He didn't observe the salah completely with imam. Maybe he out of 3 rak'at, he met 2 or he met 1. He's supposed to do what? Go up and make up for his salah. After completing his salah, he will now make his own ba'di. If he joins the imam in making that ba'di before he stands up to make up for what he missed, batalat salatuhu. His salah has been rendered invalid. In the same vein, the best is for him to wait in that sitting position until the imam completes his ba'di. The same way he should wait until the imam completes his qabli before he stands up for to make up for what he missed. It says fa'i ay ihfaz ayyuha talib ma umlihi alayka min al-wi'aya. O the student of fiqh, pay attention to this and Remember it. Don't lose this point. I is from what? We said what? Wa'a ya'i. Wa'a ya'i. And in Arabic language, what did we say? We say it's so beautiful. If I say I, I've spoken to you. I say I, understand. Qi, protect. From waqa, wiqayatan. Waqa yaki wiqayatan. Qi. Wafa yafi. Wafa'an. Fi. If I say fi, what did I say? I mean, fulfill your promise or your obligation. See, Arabic language, just one letter you're communicating. I, qi, fi. For the benefit of those people who have not resumed with us, I don't want to take a new mas'ala. This is where we stopped the last class. This is just a revision for us. Been some weeks that we stopped the class. إن شاء الله تعالى في حلقة قادمة إن شاء الله نواصل من حيث وقفنا ومن قوله رضي الله عنه أو ترك القبلية إن طال الزمن وكان عن نقص ثلاث من سنن. بارك الله لي ولكم في هذه المجالس العلمية. Quick nasiha for us is that what? Don't joke with the halaqat of learning. Yesterday we were in a sitting and we were there pitying each other on the decline of knowledge and how people don't care about learning. We're talking about imama, the imama tul mubtadi', how you should not pray behind a person of bid'ah. Now the mubtadi' now are calling other people bid'ah. Mubtadi'. A mubtadi' is calling Ahl Sunnah Sahibu bid'ah wal hawa. If you believe,
Ustaz.
hey now, let me give examples.
So how do we now know who is Alul Bidia or not?
We learned it in Aqidah when we were talking the Aqidah section of Ashalul Masalik, this book.
Okay, yeah.
If someone says Allah is literally sitting on a throne, is a mubtadi'ah. Hear that from me, according to the Ahl Sunnah. But this same person who believes that Allah is sitting on a throne will call you a mubtadi'ah. In Ikas al-Mawazin, what have we gotten into? So now you don't even know. It's different if you are praying in a random mosque, a mosque in the park, a mosque in your office. That is not an established masjid anyway. But if it is the masjid in your area, beware. That's where you make your 5 days salah. Beware. Are there exceptions? Yes. If not praying there or not praying behind that particular person will be tantamount to destroying the unity of the ummah. Pray behind him and repeat your salah. You get it? The unity of the ummah is important, but also the validity of your salah is important. So to maintain the unity of the ummah, pray behind him. If it will cause fitna not praying behind him, then after your salah, repeat your salah for safety. هذا وصلى اللهم وبارك على رسول الله. Any questions? If there are none, we ask Allah to bless our teachers and to give us ألا تقطعنا عن العلم أبدا وألا يشغلنا عنه بأي شاغل إنه على ما يشاء قدير وبالإجابة جدير ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. We meet again in the next class. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu.